My name is Mark Rogandino. Glad to have you along here on Apple TV as the players and officials make their way out onto the pitch here inside of BC Place. We take you to the team news and the starting 11 for the Whitecaps.
Takaoka continues in goal, 4 clean sheets across all comps. Tristan Blackman gets his 99th start across all competitions. Kubas in that 6th position, back from injury. That'll allow Vita and Berhalter to advance the ball forward a little bit higher up the field. Brian White up top, and then Emmanuel Asabi gets his first start for the club on that right wing.
No Jaden Nelsons. That's probably the reason.
Trying to find Hoffman Navarro in good spots. Kevin Cabral, though, 6 starts, 6 appearances, 0 goals, 0 assists. He's gonna.
Cabral, the 25-year-old French winger, now in his 5th MLS season. But as Heath mentioned in the lineups, he has yet to find the back of the net this season. We're off and running from BC Place on match day 7. As we mentioned at the top, a team that is unbeaten in 3 road matches so far away from the Mile High City. Wins at Austin FC as well as at San Jose. And the Rapids trying to remain that way tonight once they leave Canada. There was some question as to whether or not Ian Murphy was going to be fit to start tonight. He is. Sam Vines also available on the bench. Well, we were told by Chris Armas a couple of days ago in our conversation, Vines certainly not more than 45 minutes match fit. As you take a look at the lineups, in case you missed it in our opening segment. Kubas back in. And up top, it's Emmanuel Sabi, who partners with Brian White and Ali Ahmed. First start for the 27-year-old. Cabral, this is where he's at his best, driving it to the far post and just out of the reach.
Yeah, these are the details. He's one of the best in the league, I think, at getting into these dangerous. But what we've lacked is that final product, that final ability to not just put it on frame, but get that into the back of the net, be a real threat for his team on that side of things.
Berhalter driving it into the heart of the 6. Headed away by Navajo. Secondary opportunity. Viti circling it around. Johnson will play the square ball all the way across. Kubas tried to wait one in. Good ball. Comes to the back post. Maxu there to head it clear. Veselinovic in the mix. Mihailovic and Berhalter got tangled up with one another. And this time the whistle will go in favor of Colorado. Chris Armas, now in his 2nd season leading the Colorado Rapids. 3rd stop of his MLS coaching career after a stint with New York and then a very short stint with Toronto FC. The 52-year-old New York native, though, already turned the club around in the 2024 season and hoping that he can take his team even further here in 2025. Haven't called Rafa Navarro's name too often so far in this opening quarter of an hour. But if you're a Rapids fan, he's one of the players you want to see not only get a lot of service, but hear a lot from. Kubas pushing forward into the space now. Ahmed from the edge of the 18 onto his right foot. Calls his own number, parried away by Zach Steffen.
And you can see how quickly they transition, Rogo. 4 players against 4, just trying to get numbers in the box. And Ahmed doing a good job of just being selfish in this moment, recognizing the angles are difficult to get a pass. Just drop your shoulder, create a little bit of an angle. Right in his stride.
3rd first tap corner for the home side. Steffen high into the air here inside of BC Place. And he'll use both hands to secure it. Well, back to it here from Emmanuel Sabi. As you said, Heath, just following his own run with that interior pass. It was like the parting of the burgundy seas there, as all of a sudden there was a huge lane for the 27-year-old winger.
Yeah, when it makes that type of deflection, you just assume something like that's not going to happen, and it just opened up. Unfortunately, again, Rosenberry there. I like the idea of these defenders that have that pessimistic mentality of always assuming that some ball's going to get through or you're going to have to be the one that makes that play. He's done it twice so far here tonight.
Johnson venturing forward from his left back spot. Chipping on to the backside. Headed back down for White. Brian White! He continues to find pockets of space and continues to score goals. Fourth in MLS play in 2025 and a 1-0 lead for Vancouver.
Ball from Tate Johnson. You see he just sees the target on the back post, drops his head. Nice pace on the ball, redirected from Berhalter. And this is the type of goal that Brian White can score. It's a difficult angle. There's no one on him. He doesn't make clean contact, but somehow it ends up side netting and in the back of the net. And from something where Colorado should be able to defend this relatively easily, they've now found themselves down. Ahmed was able to take a better touch.
And there would have been a question of last defender right there, wouldn't there? Rosenberry. Bassett splitting the seam. Cabral. Mihailovic lost it on the second touch. Rapids will try and pinch in this near side corner to turn the ball over. Tate Johnson, the teenager, will head it back towards midfield. Mihailovic just able to keep it in. Sabe on the turn, and Ian Murphy gets whistled for the tug.
That's smart play from Murphy, because if Zavi's able to lay off a ball there, they're exposed on that far side for a long switch of play. So does the right thing, realizing they're in a bit of danger. Of course, when your players around him, you're saying don't foul there, don't foul there, but he did leave a big gap in behind him from that left back spot, so I think it's the right thing to do.
Combination there from Ali Ahmed. Splitting pass all the way through. It's 2-0! Welcome to Major League Soccer, Emmanuel Sabe.
Again, just another isolation 1v1 for Ali Ahmed. Quick 1-2 back into the middle, and look at his darting diagonal run. This is a phenomenal run. And the way to the pass is perfect to put him into a fantastic spot. To be driving into the middle and cut that across, to see that ball. Sabi able to redirect, set his body up without having time to have a lot of balance.
Closer to the near post. Cabral to run it down. As the 5 minutes are gone, and there is the halftime whistle. A quick one right before the 5 minutes.
Back three, right, when they're heading forward, and that would mean in most cases Tate Johnson stays back.
Here's Brian White into the edge of the area, centering ball, flicked in for a second chance opportunity. Out top for Vita!
This one's going to come back, but obviously quick little play here, unable to clear the lines, and this is an unreal strike. A little bit as we take a look at this offside. Just a little diagonal run there from Brian White, and he drifts off just by a yard or two. But again, this is where Colorado have to have a few ways in which they can beat their opponents. They do like to press high, create a little chaos, transition on bad turnovers, but in a game like this where now Vancouver's happy to not have to make the game, Colorado are going to have to find another gear or another level of creativity to try to break down this defensive side.
Well, I would think it would begin with trying to deliver more service for Rafa Navarro. He has been so quiet tonight, and we know what a lethal scorer he can be. 15 goals a season ago, almost caught up to the mark set by Connor Casey for a Rapids record for goals in a season.
Well, what I would say is that if you go back to, again, the first 5 minutes of the game from Colorado and the last couple of minutes of the first half, they were playing with urgency. They were moving the ball quickly, and I think that was starting to make Vancouver a little bit uncomfortable for those periods, right? They were able to walk the ball to the top of the box and put in a dangerous ball.
Great long ball over the top. Up top for Vite. This time he sends off dang it! An absolute rocket. But it goes off the stanchion in the back. Tickle the net. But again, Vite denied.
Something tells me he's going to score, though.
That is a rocket of a left foot twice.
Has hit the ball phenomenally well a couple of times now. And that long ball over the top sets things off. Really good ball over the top. Then you see here just the cut back, and he's just calm and collected when he strikes that ball. 2 times now you haven't seen him try to overhit Rogo. He's not trying to go full power, and because of that, the technique is and the pace of the ball coming to him, he's using all of that and just making really clean contact.
No changes so far for either side. As you see the lineups for both clubs scrolling across the bottom of your screen. We're about 7 minutes into the second half as Cabral whistled for the foul. And he will be the first Colorado player. Had one into the back of the net that was called back due to offside earlier here in the second half. Larraz. And now Harris. Brian White whistled for the tackle on the ankles of Calvin Harris.
Yeah, just Brian White chasing down, trying to make up for that turnover there. That was unnecessary, but you can see the way in which Vancouver respond, or the positions that they're in when they lose the ball. There seems to be a clear understanding of at least the 3-4 players around the ball as to who's going to step, move, and close off spaces. But they never really feel, or Colorado hasn't been able to break that first bit of pressure to really threaten in between the lines or behind them.
Berhalter able to turn in the center circle. Savi wanted to slip it through there for Brian White. Instead it comes White here for Ocampo. Back out in front. Top of the area. Right-footed shot and easily saved by Zach Steffen.
Not quite, not quite. Well, look at that ball out wide. Just, again, look at the numbers in the box from Vancouver. Just the commitment to continue to getting numbers forward. That's something, getting numbers forward, taking those strategic risks, knowing that you're leaving a little bit of space in behind you. But you know, we are only in the 65th minute here, and plenty of time left on the clock.
Armas wants his team to have that sense of urgency, pressuring higher up the field. But Vancouver, to their credit, has proven the ability to break that pressure. And that creates some mismatches, and unbalanced attacks. Fernandez, this time intercepting in the right spot. Bassett trying to get away with his own dribble and turns it right back over. Here comes Ocampo. Vite. End of the evening for 23-year-old Ali Larraz. A little bit of frustration in the body language from the Denver native. And on comes 20-year-old U.S. Youth International Darren Yappy.
I anticipate Yappy now step up top next to Huff Navarro, playing with 2 strikers. That would mean Cole Bassett maybe sitting into that 6th position, playing with 2 central midfielders at this point.
Third appearance of 2025 for Yappy. Back the other way. Ahmed, he was really active in the first half. Big save from Zach Steffen.
And again, I like this. Ali Ahmed just recognizing he's 1v1. He's in the box. Doesn't hesitate, makes a good decision. Almost opening up his hips like he wants to go back post, closing them off to go near post, but Zach Steffen.
As Ralph Priso gets a chance to trot out from the team that traded him early on in 2024. And Daniel Rios will also come on here in the 74th minute. Seventh corner on the night as it's in play. Johnson through for Ngando. Ngando trying to wind up. Rapids looking for the breakout. And Priso well positioned, maybe a bit fortunate that it just ricocheted off his back and back in possession for Vancouver. Headed away by Tate Johnson, the teenager, has had a great night there at the left back spot, and there is your full-time whistle. A splendid start in the opening 45 minutes for the